If you want to recognize the path, you must first learn how to walk with presence. Greetings. Today, I invite you into a moment of stillness, not to chase, not to seek, but to observe. Many ask, how do I know when I've met the one? But the question, perhaps, is not who, but how. There are moments in life that do not arrive with a thunderous knock. They whisper. Let us explore 3 profound, subtle ways in which life, or what some call God, introduces you to your soulmate without you even realizing. In life, everything is energy and motion. You are evolving, transforming moment by moment. And sometimes the one who is destined for your path does not arrive to complete you, but to reflect you. You may meet this person during your personal growth, perhaps in a time when you're healing, learning, or stepping into a deeper version of yourself. It might feel ordinary, a casual meeting, a coincidence, but the impact is like water on stone, subtle yet carving. This person reflects not who you were, but who you are becoming. And it is through this reflection that something in you recognizes something in them, a resonance, not of need, but of knowing. Have you ever spoken to someone for the first time, and it felt like remembering rather than meeting? This is not magic, it is awareness. The universe, or what we might call divine intelligence, sometimes orchestrates meetings through silent familiarity. The soul recognizes before the mind catches up, and so you may ignore the feeling, dismiss it, or even resist it. But the familiarity stays, not loud, not demanding, just there, like a quiet wind that keeps returning, even when you close the window. Many expect love to feel easy, flowing, but the most meaningful connections begin not in comfort, but in challenge. Sometimes your soulmate appears not as your peace, but as your storm. They challenge your thinking, your patterns, your ego, and in that challenge, you awaken. God introduces you to them not to soothe your wounds, but to show you where they are. And if you do not flee, you grow, together, in awareness, in strength, in trust not built on perfection, but on presence. There is a timing in life that you cannot rush. It is not according to your calendar. It listens to a higher rhythm. You may be pursuing something meaningful, learning, serving, healing, and in the midst of that, paths cross, and you meet someone walking a parallel road, not because they were searching for you nor you for them, but because both of you were aligned in what matters. This alignment is subtle, but it builds the foundation for something deeper than attraction, purpose. Sometimes, a soulmate comes not to bring calm, but to interrupt your rhythm, not in chaos, but like a bell in meditation. Your daily life is flowing, predictable. And then, this person enters. They disrupt your patterns, not destructively, but consciously. Your thoughts shift, your awareness sharpens. You begin questioning what once seemed unquestionable. This disruption is not accidental. It's a spiritual invitation, a reminder that love is not only a feeling, but a wakefulness. The way to your soulmate is often hidden behind doors that must first close. Painful goodbyes, broken dreams, unfulfilled relationships. These moments are not detours, they are alignments. The breaking is the clearing. Sometimes God does not send the right one until you release the wrong attachment. Not because the wrong person was bad, but because they were not aligned. And in that empty space, something sacred begins to unfold. A new meeting, a new vibration. Words can deceive, but energy does not lie. You may meet someone and speak little, and yet something in you becomes still, calm, anchored. There's no rush, no pressure, just presence. This is spiritual recognition, beyond personality, beyond attraction. And though you cannot explain it, the connection remains. It's not intense, but it is true. Often the soulmate appears when you have stopped looking outward and started listening inward. In the stillness, you become magnetic, not because you're trying, but because you're aligned. The one who enters your life during this time doesn't come to fill a void, but to walk with you through wholeness. God works not in your urgency, but in your clarity. Most connections are built on conversation, but the deepest ones can rest in silence. When you meet your soulmate, you do not feel the need to perform, to impress, to entertain. You simply are, and they are. And that is enough. This comfort is sacred. It is not built quickly, but when it appears early, it is a sign. When you meet someone aligned with your soul, you do not feel confused. You feel calm, not because they give you all the answers, but because their presence sharpens your own voice. You hear yourself more clearly. You trust yourself more deeply. This is one of the most divine signs. The right person doesn't distract you from yourself. They bring you back to it. A true soulmate will not pull you out of your peace. They will protect it. They will not fear your depth. They will sit with you in it. They will not fill every space with a noise. They will honor your silence. And this honoring, this gentleness, is rare, sacred, a reflection of divine timing. The mind may doubt, but the heart remains soft. There is no inner resistance, no red flags, no chasing, no forcing, just a flow, a peace, an unfolding. This is not fantasy, it is alignment. It is not found through control. It appears when you are aligned with what is true within you. Hours feel like moments, and moments feel full. You do not lose time, you dissolve into it. This is not infatuation, it is resonance. Your nervous system relaxes, you stop counting. Because what matters is no longer how much time you have, but how deeply you're living it. Most connections fade with distance, but a divine one deepens. Even in silence, they are present in your thoughts, not in obsession, but in quiet companionship. The absence does not create fear, it creates reflection. You do not fear losing them because deep within, you know you are not meant to. This is perhaps the greatest sign. The right connection doesn't change who you are. It reveals who you've always been. You become more honest, more present, more alive. Not because they complete you, but because they inspire you to stop hiding. And that, I believe, is God's greatest gift. Not to give you another half, but to send someone who helps you remember. You are already whole. We live in a world where much of what we feel is filtered through others' approval. But when you encounter a soulmate, the energy between you does not beg for validation. It is not displayed to others for confirmation, nor performed for acceptance. Instead, it rests quietly, like a still lake at dawn, clear, undisturbed. You do not need to define it right away. You simply feel safe in it. Even when there are no labels, no promises, no plans, there is a deep knowing. God introduces such energy into your life to remind you, not all things need to be understood by the mind to be true for the soul. Some believe love is about finding someone to complete the unfinished chapters of their life, but true connection does not complete, it complements. You are already on your path, already walking with intention, already discovering, and then they appear, not to rewrite your story, but to walk beside it. They don't steer you away from your purpose. They walk with it even when the path is steep. This kind of alignment is subtle. It is not based on dependency. It is rooted in mutual awareness. And that, too, is a form of sacred introduction. It is only when you are real, unguarded, and no longer performing who you think you should be that the right person appears. This is not a punishment. It is precision. Life does not send what is meant for your authentic self when you are still hiding behind masks. And so, when you finally rest into who you are, without apology, someone may enter. They will not be drawn to your performance, but to your presence. This is the divine timing of the universe. When your energy becomes honest, your life becomes magnetic. Urgency is the language of fear, but presence is the language of trust. When you meet someone aligned with your soul, there is no rush, no pressure, no panic to define it. You are simply there, together, growing. Not towards a deadline, but toward deeper awareness of each other. And this stillness in timing is not an accident, it is divine choreography. Because what is meant never demands force. It responds to readiness, not a home you built, but one your spirit remembers. There is a calm in their presence, not because there is no uncertainty in life, but because you feel safe facing that uncertainty together. You do not feel you are starting something brand new. You feel you are returning to something ancient. This is not romantic fantasy, it is recognition. And recognition at the soul level is how God gently shows you. You are no longer alone in the journey. Many live in memories or projections, carrying the weight of past wounds or the anxiety of imagined futures. But when a soul-deep connection arrives, something shifts. You begin to live here now. This person doesn't distract you from your present, they anchor you in it. Their presence slows your breath, quiets your thoughts, and reminds you, this moment is enough. And that is not by accident. When God introduces someone into your life who calms your mind and opens your heart to now, that is a sacred sign. You have met someone who aligns not with your timeline, but with your soul. In many connections, we are driven by fear, by loneliness, by expectation. The energy is urgent, restless, seeking. But when you meet someone who is sent, not stumbled upon, you feel something different, guidance. You're not chasing, you're not fixing, you're simply listening. You begin to notice that your steps feel lighter, your inner world less noisy, not because everything is perfect, but because everything is aligned. This shift from being driven to being guided is a quiet form of divine confirmation. Each of us carries a hidden self, memories, thought, scars we don't show to the world. And then someone enters, and without even trying, they speak to the parts of you you thought no one could ever reach. They don't fix you. They don't even ask to. They just see you. And something about that seeing is healing. This is not emotional intensity, it is spiritual resonance. And when God sends such a person, He is not just introducing you to another, He is introducing you to yourself through the mirror of love. When someone divinely aligned enters your life, the way you view life itself changes. You begin to notice beauty again, in silence, in the trees, in the breath. It's as if your senses have awakened. This is not romance, it is remembrance. This is what love that comes from truth does. God introduces you to someone, not to distract you from the world, but to reconnect you to it, to help you see again, clearly, presently, gratefully. True love does not swallow your identity. It expands your awareness. The connection doesn't shrink your world, it opens it. You become more compassionate, more curious, more connected to life itself. This is how divine partnerships work. They are not cages, they are catalysts. And when such a person enters your life, understand, God did not send them to fulfill your emptiness. He sent them because you were already full enough to meet them in wholeness. Your soulmate is not just a person. It is a moment, a remembering, a reflection, a return. When the meeting happens, it will feel less like an arrival and more like an unveiling. So do not rush the process. Trust the unfolding. And when that person enters, softly, silently, surely, may you be still enough to see them, not with your eyes, but with your soul.